as I've been indicating, schools are a big issue in a child with a brain injury. And that's partly because schools are where children spend all their time, 6 hours a day. And many cases, probably, children are seen by their teacher way more than they actually see their parents, because the parents get up and go to work, and the child goes to school, and the parents come home, and then there's dinner, and the kid goes to bed, and so the teacher actually sees them more than the parent. And then at the school, all those behavioral problems that I talked about and the frustrations can occur. The child has the problems with learning, so what can the teacher do? Hopefully, in the States, there will be what I call a school liaison person for all the schools, so that there's someone that they can contact who can help them understand what happened to the child, what the child's needs are, and what they can do to help the child to make the modifications. But some of the sort of more general ideas that are talked about are having the child sitting in a location, if there's a preference to one ear or the other for being able to understand, that you seat them so that they use their better ear to listen, that you develop a cueing system with that child, so you can make sure you have the child's attention before you give them any kind of information, so that you know that they've heard you at least, and get them to somehow say it back to you in a way that makes sense. Try and make the learning very sort of contextual and of meaning to that child, because all of us learn better when we're learning something that is relevant to our lives. So that's important. To chunk the information, so you don't give them the entire, that you're writing an essay on this topic and you have to go read this and this and this, because they're not going to remember it. So you lay it out for them in steps. You help them organize it. You may give them more time for an exam. You can give them the same time but lessen the number of questions that they have to do, so that they have that extra time to do what they need, because it's a slower processing time. You may want to have a homework book where you write in comments to the parents about what the day was like, what happened, what are the requirements that the child's supposed to be doing at home, working with the parent very closely so that the two of you are responding to the same behaviors in the same way, developing the school environment in a way so that the child is not frustrated and managing, so you prevent the outbursts rather than having to deal with the outbursts. There's a host of other individual ideas that can be put into place, from color coding their subjects for them, to giving them a school buddy which would be like an older student, who is usually a girl, because girls tend to want to do more of these things. But the older student who wants to be a teacher or a physician or some kind of helper can agree to meet that child in the morning, go over what were they supposed to have prepared, did they bring it, what's their day going to be like, sort of prepare the child for it. And then meet them at the end of the day. So what happened? What are you supposed to take home? What did you learn today? And give them a chance to review it. But it's done in a way that's, again, a bit more natural, that the child's meeting another kid, and they're going, when in the teenagers, they go for a coffee at, well, what would be Tim Hortons in Canada, so maybe Starbucks here. But again, it's something that teenagers do, is they go hang out for coffee, but they're also getting organized, and so you use what's a normal developmental activity and add to it.